of our Welcome to the second of our webinars for 2014. My name's Mike Dixon and I'm the co-chair of the International Desalination Association's Young Leader Program, and I'll be your host for today's session. The Young Leader Program creates opportunities for emerging leaders in desalination to advance and support careers and provide a forum to share ideas among young professionals across the industry. As part of our mission, this webinar series aims to help young people learn about career and technical aspects of the desalination industry. Today we'll hear from Carlos Cosin, Chairman and CEO of Abengoa Water, a company working across 4 continents to develop and operate water treatment plants and membrane technology. Welcome, Carlos.
Thank you, Mike.
Carlos is currently the Chairman and CEO of Abengoa Water, the water subsidiary of the Abengoa Group. He has worked for Abengoa since 2005, first as International Division Manager for the Water Business Division, Befesa Agua, and since 2011 as General Manager of Befesa Water. Carlos also spent 7 years at Veolia Water Systems, first as Desalination Business Manager, and later he held several managing positions in Veolia Water in Spain. He is a member of the steering group of European Innovation Partnership on Water and on the board of directors of the International Desalination Association. For our viewers, the format is a 20-minute presentation followed by question time, should you wish to ask questions via YouTube in the comments section. You can ask questions throughout the session at any time. So, over to you, Carlos, and your presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Mike, for your introduction. I'm going to start with a very brief presentation about my understanding how we can run a business from the perspective of leadership in the current business environment. For that reason, the first thing that I would like to point out is the different scenarios that the leaders can find in the market. We have different scenarios, and in the first slide that I present is we can see very quiet scenarios as we have been since very well organized, which the different way that to run is different, or as we have been facing in the last 3 or 4 years more turbulences with the financial crisis, that at the end you have to understand exactly what is the leading style to run this kind of business, and at the same time how has been the different involvements of the people that is working with you. If we pass to the next slide, also we have to evaluate what has to be the behavior to address and to run the different scenarios to grow, to work with the teams. With all these different entrants in the portfolio, we can see in the slide number 3 that we have a different pulses that we have to organize, and the responsibility of the leader is to play with all these different entrants and to run a practical business. Then what we have presented today is my personal experience as a leader and what are the main areas that you can handle to succeed in the normal day-to-day business. Then in the slide number 5, I describe the 5 main areas that from my particular experience are critical points to address a business from the leadership of a person that has to run this kind of business. The first topic and the first critical point is to be capable to build a real business plan. The second, when the business plan is credible, is how to create the best team to be addressed with you to run this business plan. The third and probably the most critical point is how to create the credibility and confidence in the business plan that you have to address and the credibility between the team that has to build the project that you are set up. The fourth area is once you have the team and you have the credibility, is how this team has to work together to go ahead with the project with enough confidence that the project will succeed. And the fifth pillar is normally we can face a very difficult times and or you can enjoy with the work that you have done or will be very difficult to jump the barriers. Then I will go step by step for all these 5 pillars, and according with my experience, I will suggest what for me has to be addressed. Then the first point is business plan. From my experience, we have to describe and build a completely business plan that has to be current with the information available, very well documented, and contrasted in regards with the information and different projects that you can find that has been set up previously to the one that you have done. I think that when you are building this kind of plans, projects, or ideas, you have to compare with any previous plan that has been already set up. What are different competitors doing in comparison with your project? You have also to analyze what are the strengths, weakness, and detect what are the different opportunities of the risk that your plan are considering. When you has already finalized your plan, and when I'm talking about the plan can be replicated or can be understanding for plan, one project, one department that has to be built, one big company that we have to create, then what I would like is that everybody can extend the ideas that I try to put in his particular project or idea to build. Then, once you have designed the business plan, you have to understand what is different from the one that you have built from any other that has already run. You have to analyze why is better in your plan from any other previous that has been trying to launch in the past. You have to analyze why similar plans has already failed and what are the reasons that this project has not succeeded. With all this information, probably you have a very well understanding what is the main principle that your business plan is based on. My personal experience is the original plan that I did many years ago when I started in this particular project in Abengoa. I review my plan every 6 months. I check how the market has been changed, how different sectors has appeared in use, how customers has changed the approach to the market. Okay, and with this, I try to understand why your product in comparison with similar products on the market are different, or what is the current status. If we go to the slide number 8, there is one, this is the next one, Mike. There is one very important philosophy in the way that I normally use, which at the end is we have to project this business plan with a long-term consistency. Because at the end, we will see many barriers that are unexpected that can change the dramatic plan or the original plan that you have projected. And there is a very nice sentence that I used to utilize to describe the plans that in many cases long-term consistency trumps over the short-term intensity, which normally for many of the audience that probably are attending this presentation with a very good examples of the period of university, you have the experience that to suffer the last 2 or 3 months of the final statement of the university to try to study 24 hours instead of to dedicate a few times from the very beginning of the period of the university. With this sentence, I try to transmit normally to my team that what I need is a long-term vision over the plan. Then, once we have finalized our planning, we have to believe in it, because at the end, we have to work hard to make it true, and we have to confidence in the plan because it's something that we have to transmit to our team, to the customers, and to many other audience that at the end, if you are not believed, it's very difficult that you can convince in the next steps. And on top of that, always problems come up, and probably we will have to change the roadmap with the changing the goal. Then probably taking clear what is the final target that we have to obtain, the different circumstances that we have to jump that appear to solve the issues has to change some of the main ideas that we have to put in the plan. The second point or area that we have to work, and we are going to the slide number 10, is the selection of the team. My personal experience is try to pick the best team without being afraid that they can really be even much better than you. If we select the team, we realize that all of them are different, and therefore they demand different things of each one. And my personal experience is that you have to handle each one in a different way, trying to obtain the maximum efficiency according with their personal skills. In addition of that, there are some special features that you have to be aware, which at the end permit to have this team completely aligned with the main strategy. The first thing is you need to have a very clear and sincere communication with them, and to be open to the dialogue that they can criticize the idea that you are trying to negotiate. My personal opinion is that a good relationship is needed for establishing the mutual confidence that this kind of relationship needs. Another point important is you need to be transparent, set a clear and concrete targets for each one in order that they can really have a clear picture the direction that they can follow. The third area that I think is very important is the trustability. You have to trust first in yourself, in the work that you have already done. Second, in the team that you have selected. But at the same time, your team has to put 100% confidence in you, and it's something that you have to win. If we believe in our project, we will be capable to transmit what we have built, and then we will follow by the rest of the team. My understanding is that the trustability in the persons and the team that you have selected is a two-way path. You can win the confidence of your team if they respect you, and therefore they win the confidence that you are putting in them. You have, in addition to that, 100% sure of the team you have, because you are, in many of the occasions, delegate things that without this kind of confidence is very difficult to follow up and to close the deal with the enough importance that we have. Some of the main points that for me are very interested to win this confidence in the team are the ones that I remark in the slide number 13. The first thing is they demand from you to define a clear path, a clear roadmap, and you are follow this roadmap very closely. Being aware of the possible obstacles, but without losing the final target. This is something that normally the team are expecting from you. And at the same time, in a very difficult times or in the more critical positions, they also expect from you that you will be in the level to make the decisions that at that time nobody can take. Another important point for me is the team has to follow you because you are the first example of dedication and hard work. And one important point, and the last, is you have to be a very positive and optimistic to contagious the rest of the team with the same ideas that you believe in the project. The pillar number 4, or the areas number 4, for me probably is the most difficult one. I think that many of the persons are capable to build a plant, even they have the capability to select the proper persons to work together, and also to transmit this trust and confidence between each other. But with all the ingredients set up, for me, my experience is to really to put this person that as much skills and best professional you put in board probably are more difficult to handle because they have more character, they are more clever, they are more capability to analyze. All these ingredients put in together, my experience is not easy to put to team to work together. Then this is for me probably the best challenge, how all this good plan and good team working together. And my recipe for these kind of things is to try to put some areas to work together. The first area is we have to be capable to put clear targets for the team in the medium, short, and long term. But these targets has to be real and achievables. If they are not really or achievables and they cannot reach, we can get in a medium period of time with a frustration and with the feeling in the team that they cannot reach the targets that we have put it. At the same time, we have to obtain the atmosphere in the team that all of them, everyone, is part of the team. That feeling encourage all of them that they are part of the team. At the same time, and with the period of time that the people is involved, the team normally demand specific responsibilities for themselves and for each one of the members. And in many of the cases, they demand also responsibilities for the rest of the team. Okay? One important point, and especially with this kind of special persons, is that you have to defend that each person has the right to defend his own ideas, even if disagree with the rest of the team, if they think that what they believe is makes sense and is reasonable. But at the same time, and if we reinforce that they have to disagree, they have to be capable to reach the consensus with the rest of the team, with the rest of the participants. And therefore, they have to be flexible enough to reach these consensus that the team needs. In case that this consensus cannot be reached, is in this case the responsibility of the leader to make the decisions. My understanding is in this kind of projects, in this kind of plans, normally the democracy does not work. This is not a question of democracy. I think it's a case of consensus, and in case of not, the leader has to assume the responsibility. At the end, is also the benefit of the project, even with more importance than the personal interest of each person. And that's the reason that you have to be in this position to assume the risk to make this decision that has not been taken by consensus. And the last point, and for me is a particular importance, and in my 20 years of experience making business, when you build this kind of plans and you involve many people in the project, you have to be sure that you are enjoying with the things that you are developing. If not, I think it's very difficult in some cases to overpass many of the problems and circumstances that are not expected when you start the project. On top of that, my personal opinion is as much ambition is the plan that you are projected, more difficulties you will find, and you have to, or it's very difficult to separate your personal life and your professional life. And then you have to be sure that all the team believe in what you are doing, and even the family, friends, and otherwise are supporting the project, because if not, it will be very difficult to require the dedication, time away from home, stress, and 100% of availability that these projects normally require. Then my suggestion is you have to enjoy what you are doing, and my experience is as much as you enjoy, you can contagious the rest of the team, because it's something that is spread without you think really are doing consciously. Okay, this is my personal experience, and I'm open to answer whatever question you can address to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, I've just had a quick look on YouTube, and it doesn't look like there's any questions coming in. So I have a question. If you could tell a young person coming up as a leader the most important thing that they should concentrate on, what would that one thing be?
Okay. I try to respond from the perspective that my first project that I built, I create my own company just as I finished my university degree. And for me, the most difficult task was to believe in the project that I was building. When you are a young leader, you need still the enough consistency and credibility in yourself. And when you do not believe in yourself and in the credible project that you are projecting, no one is going to follow. Then I create my company when I finish my university, and I try to spread this technology that I invent and the company, and I failed. And I failed because I didn't believe in myself. Okay, it's something that you probably learn with experience, okay, but my recommendation is work hard about the plan that you are building and believe in it. And once you believe in it, okay, I think the rest of the people can follow you.
I think you made some really good points in your final slide about believing in the project, but also having your family there to support and back you through the difficult times. I know I've personally moved overseas to take on a new job that was challenging, and found that with the support of my family, it made it much easier. And I know without their support, then it would be much more difficult.
Right, right. If you have to fight also at home to defend your project and you have not the support from your family, when at the end this kind of project requires a lot of work out of the time, many times out of the house and home because you have to work in Sunday and Saturday and these kind of things. If you have your family against your project, I think it's not the best way to build it.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Carlos, for all your wise words of wisdom. I think we'll leave it there for today. So, to all of our viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. We do apologize for the delay in starting out today, but please keep your eye on the web because our next webinar will be in the final week of September, and we plan to have a technically focused event at that time. So once again, thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.
Thank you, Mike.